What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of What I Watched, this time covering everything that I watched in the month of October 2023. I know this video is now a month late. Alright, so I started the month off with The Creator, the newest film from Gareth Edwards, yes, who did the 2014 Godzilla film, which I am a fan of. I don't love it, but it's fun enough. The Creator, I will say, I think is probably my favorite Gareth Edwards film. It was really, really fun, a bit predictable, but the world that we're in, it was just gorgeous. I loved the visuals. There's a bridge sequence in the film. They did advertise it in the trailer, but when it happens in the film, it was just so intense. I was gripping my seat. That was probably like my favorite moment of the entire film. I did like The Creator. I don't know if I'll purchase it, but I really, really did enjoy it, and I will for sure rewatch it again. After that, watched 2005's Constantine with Keanu Reeves, and I'm not a fan. I'm excited to see a new Constantine and see what that would look like. If Keanu Reeves returns, would it be rated R? All of that stuff. I'm interested in the character of Constantine. It's that 2005 visuals along with that very simple, predictable story. It didn't mesh with me. After that, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This was a film by Andre Øvredal, who did the Last Voyage of the Demeter, which came out this year. And I didn't finish Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, but I still had a ton of fun with it from what I watched. Like, this is a film that I will probably finish sometime in the near future. Maybe I watch it next year for Halloween. After that, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I can't even tell you what this film was about. A witch's cookbook and a punk rock poodle. Yeah, I can't tell you what this movie's about. I remember the character, and that's it. So, yeah. Have you seen it? Let me know. After that, Beautiful Creatures from 2013. Not specifically a movie for me, but I liked it. So that really is saying a lot, because my girlfriend had been raving about this film. She loves it, so she was excited for me to watch it, and I had a good enough time. Next up, we got Gran Turismo, the 2023 biopic. It's a true story about the Gran Turismo player. Played the video game, became a racer. It's pretty self-explanatory. I didn't think I would like this film really at all, because it's like, well, you know the story just from the trailer alone, but they did a really, really good job. Like, I was actually very, very engaged. I'm glad that I watched it at home. But yeah, it was a fun movie, and the visuals were awesome. Same director as District 9 as well. Next up, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning from 2006. This is a prequel to the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Again, if you saw my What I Watched September, you know that I watched that movie and I didn't totally care for it, but I didn't hate it, and I don't hate this film either. But again, if I'm gonna watch a TCM movie, I'm going to watch the original. Moving on, got Insidious: The Red Door from this year. I didn't finish this film. I was so disappointed, and I've been disappointed with the Insidious franchise since the third film. I loved the original when it came out, and I loved it for like a good 5-6 year period. The second one I really, really enjoyed, but I didn't love, and I guess the more and more I rewatch those films, the less I get out of them. But that's a common thing with movies. But I don't know. I really had hope for this final closing chapter, and the fact that Patrick Wilson was directing, I thought, well, if he's directing, he must really care for, this specific story. And that's not to say that he doesn't care for the story. I don't think they headed in the right direction. There were inklings of where I think they could have gone and should have gone, but it just didn't click for me, so I decided not to finish the film. After that, Totally Killer, 2023 release as well. This is Back to the Future as a slasher. It's fine. I've said this, just like What I Watched in September. It's fine. I had fun. I got what I felt I needed to out of it. I don't know if I'll rewatch it. If somebody wanted to watch it and, I had already seen it, obviously, yeah, I'd be fine, but it's not going to be my number one choice. Then I got VHS 85 from this year. This is not my favorite VHS film in the franchise, but there's one skit here specifically involving a boat that I absolutely loved. I just felt like, and this is a common complaint that I've seen too about VHS 85, is that the boat sequence gets cut off, and then you don't follow up with that until like another 40 minutes, and by the time that happens, you're like, okay, well, was that payoff really worth it? So VHS 85, I don't think I'll rewatch it again, but if I do rewatch it, I'm only going to watch it for that specific scene or segment. I'll probably just skip the the other portion. Next up, Exorcist Believer. I will say it right now, this is my least favorite film of 2023. I don't even really want to talk about it because it is just the biggest fucking dumpster fire that Blumhouse released in forever, and I'm really disappointed in this movie. They should have never made it. The Exorcist never needed to be a franchise. I like the original. I don't love it, but man, did this film just piss me off. It boiled my blood. And then on that same day, I saw When Evil Lurks, which is a much better possession film. It is actually, I'm not going to tell you how high up, but it is in my top 15. I'll say that because I like my ranking of this year's films, and I don't want to give too much away, but it is without a doubt one of the best movies, one of the best horror movies, but one of the best movies released this year. I will say though, if you're like squeamish in any way, When Evil Lurks is like the film that's going to fuck you up. Another film that I skipped is Haunted Mansion 2023. Made it 5 minutes in, decided not for me. Obviously it's not made for me, it's made for much younger audiences, but I'm not going to watch this again. Then we rewatched 3,000 Years of Longing, the George Miller film from last year, which a lot of people didn't like, but I thought it was bizarre, weird, fun, entertaining. The cast is phenomenal, and the score specifically is really, really fun. Next up, we got Blackberry, which I waited really, really long to watch this film because just like Gran Turismo, what do I really need to know about Blackberry? They built a phone and then they collapsed. Like, that's what you think of, and I thought they did a really good job. Glenn Howerton and Jay Baruchel, though, are really fantastic. Like, they nail their roles. Will I watch it again? Probably not, but it was solid time. Phantom of the Opera 2004. Gerard Butler? I don't know about that one, Chief. This movie, it's long. It's gorgeous. The set design, the costumes, everything looks fantastic, but... and I didn't hate the songs. It's just another movie not for me. So, moving on, When a Stranger Calls from 2006. I actually really enjoyed this film. Again, not another film that I think I'm going to rewatch, but there's elements here that I want to put in my own short films or my own movies, and that I think is the biggest compliment to other, they always say that, not copying, but I guess, copying is the sincerest form of flattery, or, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And that's kind of actually why I watched this film, because I had ideas going into it of what I wanted to put in my film, and I knew that When a Stranger Calls would have certain elements that I could pull into my scripts, and that's exactly what I did. So I did have a fun time, very excited to use certain things. After that, we got Once Upon a Studio. This was a little short film Disney celebrating Disney, and I thought it was very well done. Seeing all these characters interact was really cool. There's nothing really more to it other than seeing characters interact that you haven't seen interact before. It was a very, very fun, cute watch. Not cute, we've got, I'm going to combine these all, Hatchet, Hatchet 2, Hatchet 3, and Victor Crowley. I'll say I watched all the way through Hatchet, and I really enjoyed it. I actually thought it was dumb, bloody, campy fun. There's an old man who's killed in this film, and it is just freaking insane. I don't know why I'm saying freaking when I've been cursing this whole time, but it's pretty gnarly. Also, the fact that they use an axe instead of a hatchet is just funny to me. But yeah, all four of these films, don't think I'll rewatch again. If I were to rewatch any of them, I would rewatch the original. I only skimmed through Hatchet 2, 3, and Victor Crowley just because the quality of those films really takes a dip. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Also, recasting of the lead actress I thought was a weird idea. Apparently it's because there were some issues, I don't know. But either way, Hatchet, not for me. How many times am I going to say not for me? I rewatched When Evil Lurks. I went back into the theaters, saw this completely by myself, and I would honestly say that it messed me up more the second time around because I was anticipating all of these horrific moments, and it just made me so much, frankly, I was sweatier, I was more exhausted. When I left this film the second time, I had to go home and watch something uplifting. I had to listen to uplifting music because this is possibly the darkest film released this year, maybe the darkest film released in the 2020s. That's a big statement, but it's rough. Then I finished Ahsoka, which it was fine. Solid watch. Again, the Star Wars TV shows aren't really my thing. I loved Mandalorian Season 1. Really liked season 2. Really liked season 3, even though a lot of people didn't like it. But, Book of Boba Fett, I didn't care about. I haven't seen Andor. I need a little break from superheroes and Star Wars specifically for... I would be fine not seeing another Star Wars film for another 10 years just to build more hype. Like, that is totally fine with me. I know that's not going to happen. Then we got Funny Games. Yes, I chose to watch the American version of this film just because I knew that Funny Games, the original, was like apparently a truly horrific film, but I didn't want to be distracted by the subtitles, and I knew that it was a fairly simple plot with just kind of a lot of dialogue. So that's why I did decide to watch the remake instead of the original, which I never usually do. I usually always go for, I'm going to watch the original of anything, no matter what it is, but I thought this was really well done. Of course, it's the same director and basically the same script, same shots. Like, it's all basically the same. It's dark. I've watched a lot of dark movies this year. Funny Games is one of them, and the ending is one that it'll be like, oh, that's cool, but it pisses you off just because it's so dark. Next up, It 2017. Rewatched this, and I gotta say, it doesn't hold up as much as it did it's been 6 years since the film's released. I loved it when it originally released. I don't love it now. My love for the film has gone down simply because of how much I didn't like the second film, and I know that's not totally fair, but at the same time, they're one giant connected piece. I don't know. I thought too much CGI in it, and the ending of it wasn't totally satisfying for me on this time around. So a little bit unfortunate for me. I was actually kind of disappointed that I felt that way. So next up, It's a Wonderful Knife from 2023. This one's got Joel McHale as well as Justin Long, and Justin Long plays a creepy dude. I'll say that. It's not great, but it's fun. I had a fun time. This was a Monday mystery movie screening at Regal. There were so many 60-year-olds and older seeing this. I mean, it was all because it was Monday mystery movie, but so many people were just, yeah, I spent my money on my $5. I'm going to watch this Christmas slasher movie. And it was just kind of bizarre to me. The audience was bizarre. Didn't get a lot of laughs, but some of the kills got some audible ooh, ah. So it was fun. Fun time. Will I rewatch? I don't know. Killers of the Flower Moon, the newest Martin Scorsese film. This one is fantastic. A little bit too long. But honestly, at the same time, I think it kind of needs to be that long. And the ending hits hard. I don't want to say anything, but the ending stage sequence is really cool. And I some people could say, oh, that's just kind of blowing smoke up your own ass as a creator. But I thought it was really well done because you're still watching the movie. There's a moment that happens that takes you out of the movie and puts you more into reality, if that makes any sense. It's a rough watch. I've watched so many rough films this year. Killers of the Flower Moon is one of the roughest, but it's an important story. I'm actually interested in the book. It's so dark. That's because it's a horrible, horrible true story. Yeah, no, I think people should watch this. I don't know how to talk about it just because it's so brutal, and I think that if you do want to see it, if you have any inkling of wanting to see it, you should go watch it without having any spoilers. Just watch the film as is. Take it in. Next up, we got Five Nights at Freddy's, which I was excited for, but I wasn't over the moon excited for. I haven't played the games. I think I played maybe 20, 30 minutes of one of the games. Yeah, I just don't care. I'm not I don't watch Five Nights at Freddy's YouTube videos. I'm not a film theory or Matt Pat. I don't watch his videos. I watched some just leading up to the movie because I knew he was going to be in it. But yeah, it was fun enough. I'm excited to see what they would do with the sequel because it's for sure getting a sequel. In the long run, I would like it if they did an R-rated movie, but I just don't see that happening. Five Nights at Freddy's, fun enough, watch at home. Don't need to see again. After that, it went on to Strays. Didn't make it through this movie. I just skimmed through this just to see how truly bad it was because I had a feeling that it was going to be awful, and it was. This was written for 2004, 2005. Yeah, not good. Suitable Flesh, another movie I unfortunately didn't finish. I thought some of the practical effects from the gore and the violence was well done. It's just a softcore porno though at the end of the day, and I'm just like, what? I don't need to see this. I'll say this as well. I'm not a fan of sex scenes. I don't think 99% of the time they're just not needed, or when they're done, they're just it's just not well made. I don't believe it. I don't think it's necessary to most stories. So yeah, it's kind of the same situation here where it was just like, these people are horny, and I didn't care. So, next up, Midnight Mass. Watched this entire miniseries from Mike Flanagan. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a little bit too long. The ending of it was really cool. It's not my favorite of the Netflix series that he's done, and I have to finish The Fall of the House of Usher before I do a ranking of all of his series, but it was a really good watch, and the cast is amazing. I love seeing the dude from Friday Night Lights back in more things. He was in one of the Purge movies, but to see him here in a Mike Flanagan project, like, it just made me so happy for the dude. After that, Nightmare Before Christmas. This was a rewatch. I've seen this plenty of times before. It's a fun movie. Moving on, ended the month with Promising Young Woman from Emerald Fennell, the director of Saltburn from this year. And I got a lot to say about Saltburn in my What I Watched November video, so go watch that, because that video is going to be out basically the same time that you're watching this. So I liked Promising Young Woman. I really did. I enjoyed it. It's not a film I'm going to rewatch probably ever, but the ending I thought was fun in a dark way. Like, it really caught me off guard, and I thought that's cool. When something can catch you off guard and you're not expecting something, that's a cool thing to have happen. I guess I'm just kind of thinking about Saltburn right now. But Promising Young Woman was good enough. Was a little bit long. And who do we have? Yeah, Carey Mulligan. She's fantastic in literally everything. So her performance is amazing, and it was nice to see Bo Burnham in a much different space. And that is everything that I watched in the month of October 2023. Please be sure to go check out my What I Watched for November 2023, as well as every other What I Watched from this year as well as last year. I think I started in like April or May of last year, but I've done one for every month of this year. Everything that I've watched in chronological order. My thoughts on all those. Go check it out. Let me know what you guys want to see from the channel in the future. Thank you guys again for watching. I'm Carter Scotland Allen. I'll see you guys later. Peace.